Wait a second. What day's the gala? It's today.
It's tonight? Ay, caramba! Wait, brother, hold on. Hey.
What are you doing out here? The gala's starting.
I'm watching you.
Hello, my name is Father Timothy Walsh, and I'm rector here at the Legionaries of Christ Novitiate and College of Humanities. Thank you for joining us. God has blessed us with such a great mission. We're forming young men called to live a life that makes a difference. So many people collaborate in this endeavor. We want to thank our professors, our cooks and staff, and all of the priests, formators, who dedicate themselves to helping form these young men to be able to engage culture with the message of the gospel. We'd also like to thank all of you, our friends and benefactors, for your generous support that helps make this dream a reality. Year after year, you've always been there, and we're grateful. As rector, I have the gift of seeing young men come to the door of the seminary with a mere inkling of the amazing project that God has prepared for them. I'm blessed to help them and accompany them during a few years as they do their novitiate and then study humanities, where they learn a little bit more about the heart of man. And then we're called to send them off to the next stage of formation. Despite the sadness of separation, we feel the mission is so big and the church's needs so great. And we hear the echo of St. Paul's words, the love of Christ impels us on. Thank you once again. Count on my prayers. A nuestros amigos, familias y bienhechores, muchísimas gracias por todo su apoyo. Que Dios les bendiga. Cuenten con mis oraciones. Gracias.
Hello everyone and welcome back. I am Father John Bender and I'm here with Father Nicholas Sheehy. It is our great pleasure to be with you once again. Last year's Journey of Hope Gala was a huge success. Thank you for making such a wonderful evening.
That's right. Thanks to your generosity, we were able to raise $278,000 last year. Now last year we focused on a day in the life of a Cheshire brother. This year we want to focus on some aspects of our everyday life and show how these brothers are living a life that makes a difference.
Yes, because we're missionaries. And so everything we do in Cheshire is intentionally directed to preparing the brothers for their future ministry. During this year's gala, we want to show some of the work that the brothers do around the house and how they are getting themselves ready for their future mission as legionary priests.
You know, at a gala event like this one, it makes me think of how many legionary priests have come through Cheshire and where they are today. They are working throughout the United States, Mexico, South America, and the whole world, building schools, running youth clubs, and preaching retreats to form lay people to impact culture. They are building schools in the Philippines, running youth clubs in Cincinnati, and preaching to men and women in South America. No matter where they are now, this seed was planted in their hearts here in Cheshire. This year we have a special treat. We want to recognize a Cheshire alumnus who has been doing great work fostering prayer for thousands of people through social media. We want to present Father William Serra as an example of a life that makes a difference.
Social media, this is crazy. I did not want to start and open a Facebook page, but someone told me, if you want to take care of this project, you need a Facebook page. You need a Facebook account. And I didn't know what it was, so I just opened it, and then I get all these requests, and I was like, this is magic. How do they know who I am, and how do they know I know this priest and this and that? And then I figured out, well, this is something I can really use. This is really something useful. So I began to write some spiritual reflections every day, and I got more friend requests to the point where I had to open a public page, and it was growing and growing, and I said, wow, this is a great tool for evangelization. So after Facebook, I opened Twitter and Instagram, I opened a YouTube channel, and actually I've been invited to several countries just to give conferences just because they know me from social media. I was one of the first to start this kind of evangelization, but I had been doing that for 8 years. So that's the advantage, and this is something I can really cherish because it's a new tool that can bring a lot of souls to Christ. So don't be afraid. This is something coming from God, and we just need to learn how to use it. Well, I mean, I can tell you, I get so many messages. Father, my marriage is going down the drain. What can I do? Or, I mean, so many questions. And in some cases, I actually receive a message. Father, thank you for all your Twitter messages. I wake up in the morning with a sign of hope when I read this. So please do not stop. You don't know you're making a difference. And this is just one of many. But at least I know I'm an instrument that God is using, as some of the priests do. And what else can I do? I do this in my free time. I'll offer it up to God, and I say, well, if I can do something to make a difference, just do it through the little time I spend. Well, I believe young couples are the future, and we need to do a preventive work with them, which means let's take their hand together from the beginning, listen to them, form them so they can walk along without the main challenges that the normal couple will face. But most of them is just because what they dreamt marriage would be is not happening. It's not happening because they need to have someone accompany them, and they have a personal accompaniment, and as well they have this group that helps them. So this is a preventive type of work with young couples, and I think the best way to invest my time as priest is this work with these young couples, because I can reach more. And after that, I'm going to form like a small group that, you know, in their turn, they can do the same thing with more couples. So basically, the idea is to expand this apostolate to work with young couples in order to really bring them forth into the marriage and, you know, have a very fruitful and happy marriage. That, for me, is the best way to do apostolate. You know, I don't go out and preach Christ through words, but maybe I do that through my own example, the way I live my vocation to marriage. I know the theme is a life that makes a difference, is to see how God is always faithful. During my 4 years here in Cheshire, I couldn't dream of my future, but I knew I was just letting God, you know, sow all the seeds in my heart. And I've done all kinds of things, I don't know why I ended up working with young couples right now, but I can see that everything I did in the past, it was all directed towards this work that I'm doing right now. Many talents that I didn't know I had, the creativity I have right now at this stage of my priesthood, I think it comes from all the things that I have received, and now I can see God bringing forth so many fruits, not because of me, but because of the seeds that He sowed when I was here, mainly in Cheshire and during my whole formation. So I'm very thankful, and to all my legionary priests and to all those supporting us, please pray for us. We need to have faith because God is at work, and sometimes we do not know how He's going to use us. But I believe, and this is what I'm seeing right now, that is something wonderful that goes beyond what we can see and expect.
Listening to Father William speak to us, I can't help but think of the theme of this year's Journey of Hope Gala, a life that makes a difference.
It is a life that makes a difference. It is so encouraging to see how Father William has gone on to such amazing things. I remember that he was here when I arrived in 1999. He was Brother William back then. I am glad to see that he was ordained a priest and is leading fascinating apostolates, helping to spread Christ's gospel message in society.
It really goes to show how important it is to form the brothers well in Cheshire, if they are going to have a life that makes a difference. It's crucial that they learn to evangelize culture. The skills that they are learning here will help them in the future so that they can impact culture. Skills of expression such as writing, public speaking, and homiletics will help them to communicate the message in a more powerful way.
The church wants us to evangelize culture. We are called to bring the good news to men and women of the 21st century. It's a message that is ancient yet ever new. We do not merely want to reach a greater number of people, though we want that as well. No, we want to go deeper, challenge criteria, values, points of interest. Men and women have to know that the gospel has arrived. This is our mission. Our very lives should serve as a model for men and women looking to instill gospel values in their lives. Besides the Bible, our lives should make the Word of God present in the world.
Next up, we have a testimony from Father John Bartunik. Father John is a master at relating our everyday culture to the values of the gospel. I hope you enjoy it.
Hello, my name is Father John Bartunik. I'm a Legionary of Christ. I was ordained in 2003 and spent some very powerfully transformative years in Cheshire in the early 90s. Actually throughout the 90s, off and on, there at the College of Humanities. It's very hard for me to answer the question, now, how did my humanities formation, the things that I received when I was in Cheshire, how did that impact my priesthood and my ministry? It's hard to answer that because everything that I am, everything that I do, I feel has been impacted by those years, by what I received there. My ministry through the years has been primarily in teaching in various ecclesial universities, also in writing, producing formation material online, books for Catholics, for Radiant Christi members, for our own priests, and then speaking as well. And in all of those things, the knowledge I received of Western culture, of literature, of the classical languages, of our Catholic traditions has been very useful. And also the skills that I received as we learn to communicate, as we learn to write, as we learn to express the beauty of our faith in various ways. So it's been directly involved in all of my ministry. But also I would say the non-official ministry responsibilities, the interactions with people, the interactions in the confessional, the interactions at the dinner table, the interactions, the random ones in an airport. They've all been informed as well by the sensitivities that I developed, I was helped to develop there in Cheshire, just by learning to appreciate the voice of God in creation, the voice of God as it speaks in the human heart and in various stages, the voice of God as it speaks in the expressions of human culture. For me, that's been something that has shaped the way that I see everything every day. Probably the most impactful aspect, though, and the most personal, is really been in my own spiritual life. And I think that's the wellspring from which all of my ministry has drawn through the years, my own experience of grace. And my formation in the humanities and in Cheshire, in the community life there, in the spiritual life there, as well as the academic life, I think has enabled me to encounter God more profoundly, to recognize and appreciate the beauty of God's presence and God's action in culture through His providence in my own life, in my own heart. I really believe that my own love, the sustaining force of my own love for God has been enhanced, has been empowered by learning how to kind of appreciate and find His activity, His presence in all those things. That's really what the humanities kind of opened my eyes to discover His presence and His beauty in all those different areas. So I'm very grateful for all that I've received there at Cheshire, and I'm very grateful for all those who've supported through the years the work that we do there. Thank you, and God bless you.
Now we're going to hear from our Dean of Studies, Father Miguel Angel de la Torre, who's going to speak about how the intellectual formation of the brothers helps to prepare them to evangelize culture.
I am the Dean of Studies of the college, Legion of Christ College of Humanities, and I help the rest of the formation team focused especially on the intellectual and the academic formation of each one of the brothers that are studying at the college. In my case, I was asked if I was willing to help here as a professor. I had already been here a student myself, so when I received that invitation to be a professor, I was extremely happy. It's a great opportunity to come back and be a professor in the same place where you learned so many things. So I see this as an opportunity to explain to others and teach others everything that I learned in this house. When the new students arrive, the new brothers from all different parts of the world, one of the first places that I show them is this beautiful library that you can see in front of you. They come and they get marveled at the amount of books that we have. And then they make that question, where am I supposed to start? What should I start reading first? And then we bring them in a very special way to the classical section. And that's one of the first questions. What is a classical book? And then we begin to explain to them that all books are good, or most books are good rather, but at the same time there are certain types of books that no matter in which language you read them, and no matter where you read them, you find that they actually have something that relates to you in a very special way. And that's a very simple definition of a classical book. I would actually take one of those books, put them in your hands, and start reading it together with you. And you will find that people thousands of years before Christ, after Christ, just a couple of hundred years ago, or a few years ago, there are certain books that have things that you will relate with. Problems, circumstances, ideals, objectives, dreams, things that resonate with the heart of any person. And that is why we motivate our students, each one of the brothers, to read these books. They will all go out and try to work for Christ, helping people, saving souls, and they actually don't know where they will end up. It could be here in the United States, another country in Latin America, Europe, Asia, Africa. And one of the main questions is, how do I get prepared to be able to speak to any person if I don't really know who they are or how they are? So these books help you to understand that even though there are different circumstances, there are always similar topics in the heart of every man, no matter where he's from or the epoch in time that he was born, in the heart and in the mind of men. And that is one of the great treasures that we find in classical literature. We don't have enough time here to give a whole explanation of the importance of theology or philosophy or humanities for a priest, but if I were to explain to you very briefly the difference, I would say the following. Theology gives the student the vision of the world, of creation, from the point of view of revelation. Everything that God has taught us about Himself, about the world, and about others. Philosophy gives the student the tools he needs to see the world from the point of view of reason. What it means to have creation, what it means to exist, what it means to be. And humanities, in a very special way, touches the heart of the person. The student learns to love creation, be close to creation, appreciate it, and see the goodness, the beauty, the truth of everything that exists.
Being able to engage culture with the values of the gospel is certainly important. At the same time, it's not everything that we do. We also do a lot to take care of things around here. We have a beautiful house here in Cheshire, thanks to God and the generosity of so many benefactors over the years. But we haven't become complacent. The brothers still help out every day in the upkeep of our home.
Yes, sometimes it takes a veritable army to take care of all the work in the kitchen. But is it exciting? It's exciting to see how well the pantry is organized and how the brothers stay on top of things. We do everything from washing the dishes, pots and pans, setting the tables, cleaning the countertops, and mopping the floors. And we even cook sometimes. It's a lot of work, and the brothers do a great job.
They really do. That's why we want to highlight some of the work of the brothers in the kitchen and pantry. It also gives us a chance to underscore the valuable donations that so many people have given so that we can continue to live this journey of hope in a way that we have a life that makes a difference.
Yeah, I think coming here, I definitely had some real world experience being out in the, out on the job. I worked, a power engineering internship in Houston and was starting to go down that path of engineering. But like I said, when the Lord called me, He kind of scrambled all my plans, right? And I really started to rely on Him for what He wanted for my life. And so coming here, it's really been putting my trust back in His hands, allowing Him to guide me. And through that, it's been a maturing process for sure. There's a lot of things that I didn't know and that I'm learning still, especially learning to live the vows now of poverty, chastity, and obedience. That's a whole new ball game that I've never experienced before out in the real world. I mean, little taste here and there of being obedient, being chaste, being poor, but nothing like coming here and experiencing it for real. And also the community life has been a huge blessing, but a huge challenge as well, because you're growing with your brothers, which means you're going to, bump heads sometimes, and you're going to figure out how to live charity. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not easy. But what I have noticed is that in the end, at the end of this year, it's all paid off, and it's been a huge reward just to see so many brothers come out of their shells, to be accompanied by so many brothers and being shown so many new things. We have so much to do here on our property, so I've gotten my hands in things I would never have done. For instance, I'm in charge of the pantry now, so I've been coordinating meals and working our menu system, trying to make sure we're using everything that comes in, and that we're also planning out our meals so the chefs know ahead of time what to cook, and so we can pull the right ingredients so that their life is a lot easier and the whole process is just more efficient. It also is really fun because I get to decide what we're eating on Thursdays, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Being here in Cheshire with so many moving parts and so many people, it's a big responsibility to take care of this place. And so it really falls on a lot of times the brothers to be able to organize the schedules for kitchen work, making sure it's clean for the chefs the next day, and also on the weekends cooking ourselves, preparing the meals, which has been amazing to be able to see the creations that the brothers come up with, being able to take their cultures from where they come from and be able to make a meal that they love in their own heart and in their own culture and bring it to Cheshire, which is an amazing experience for all of us. A lot of times we're serving our brothers, we're serving the fathers here to prepare us for our priesthood, where we'll be serving as well in a different capacity, but we will be giving our hearts, giving ourselves, giving our mind, body, and soul to the mission. And it starts right here. It starts right here with the physical labor, getting to know the system, getting to know, just on a daily basis, what the average everyday working citizen is like, and getting those experiences so that we're able to minister to these people in our future. We're able to relate to people because we've done the work. We know what it's like to have a full work week where we're tired, we're exhausted because we've been serving. And it's also learning the etiquette, to be a good member of society, to really take that into our priesthood so that we can evangelize. So being that I work in the pantry, handling a lot of the donations that are coming in food-wise, and if there's just one word I would be able to say to all our donors is just thank you so much for all that you give us. It's amazing. I mean, I give my life over to the Lord and He gives me so much back. So it's just a great reward to be here and to be a part of this whole community. I just love it so much. I just say thank you to all our donors. It means so much to all of us. It puts a smile on our face and keeps our bellies happy. So,
thanks, brothers, for taking such good care of us. I think it's important to also realize that the work of organization goes beyond just putting food on the table. The skills that we learn through work also serve to form us as men who will be able to organize great projects for Christ and His kingdom. What we learn in Cheshire serves us well for the rest of our lives.
Thanks, Father John. That's a great point. Everything in Cheshire's formation for our brothers. This formation is made possible by so many donors, and we would love to recognize each one of you. Each year, we try to recognize one donor who has made particularly significant contributions to the formation of the brothers. It is my pleasure to introduce Ned and Kathleen Wentworth as the recipients of the 2021 Brother Anthony Freeman Award.
So Ned, I'd like to present this award to you and Kathleen, as a sign, a token of the gratitude of all the Legionaries of Christ, especially the brothers here.
Well, thank you.
For the support that you give us. It's a Brother Anthony Freeman Award, which comes in this year, 2021.
Thank you very much, Father. I'm sure I'm undeserving of this award, but I'm going to take it. Thank you very, very much. And Kathy will be delighted that we have this also, so I appreciate it. And Legionnaires to me is just a great organization, and I'm very fond of the brothers. Thank you.
Appreciate your friendship. And Nacho here has a book for you that was written by
Brother Anthony Freeman.
Thank you very much, Nacho.
Thanks for everything.
It's a pleasure working with you too. I must say, I feel at home here. I really do. So,
good.
Thank you.
How long have you been coming here?
I've probably been involved with the Legionnaires for at least 20 years now. Yeah, maybe closer to 15. I don't know, but I know that for a long time the brothers would come down to my office and bless the office and bless all of us, and so I feel very, very fortunate to be that close to the organization. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing, and thank you. Thanks, Nacho.
Thank you.
All right.
Greetings from Atlanta, Georgia. This is Father John Klein. I'm so happy to be able to share this video message with all of you. I have been a legionary priest for 4 years, and I currently work in Atlanta, Georgia now with college students and young adults in the movement. In 2006, now 15 years ago, Jesus Christ called me. He pulled me out of the music scene in Nashville where I was studying music production, and He called me not just to be another entertainer or a musician in our culture, but to be a missionary evangelizing that same culture. He pulled me out there and He dropped me right into the middle of Cheshire, which was a wake up for me, but a beautiful one at that. And through the community there, through the formation I received, through the prayer time, I met Jesus Christ, and it changed my life. It really did change my life. And I thought I was gonna leave, like Peter left his nets. I thought I was gonna leave my guitar, but instead the Lord is good, and it came back. And He showed me that music was a gift He gave me, not for my glory, but for His own. And throughout these years, there's been many opportunities for me to use music along with my priesthood to help evangelize our culture. One of the newest projects that I'm a part of is called the Regnum Christi Music Collective. And the goal of this project is to gather, to form young musicians, to accompany them and to help them discover the gifts and talents they have through music and to put those at the service of evangelizing our culture. So this song I'm going to play for you right now is called Movement Rising. We wrote it together and we recorded it together, and it's a song, an anthem calling all young missionaries to rise up and to become a part of this great movement to evangelize. And so I hope you like the song. I hope it gets you excited, or at least I hope it makes your foot tap. Thank you for all you're doing to support Cheshire, and God bless you. My name is Father John, and we are in Nashville, Tennessee, and we're recording tunes that move the soul to mission.
Shout from the rooftops, let it out. He's the one our life's about. From the prison walls of fear and death, he's come to break us out. In the streets we're singing now, for he's come to show us how great the Father's love is, and that it'll work itself all out. Feel it rising. Can you feel us rising? We are the young movement rising, stomping our feet, feel this tremor, it's rising to the beat of your heart, let the whole earth shake, to the ends of the world, your love we take. Light of your mercy shines so bright in the darkness at midnight. We will be a generation that celebrates your life and abundance in the strife and the stress that pulls us down. We are living out loud and turning up your sound. Feel it rising. Can you feel us rising? We are the young movement rising, stomping our feet, feel this tremor, it's rising to the beat of your heart, let the whole earth shake, to the ends of the world, your love we take. We are the young movement rising, stomping our feet, feel this tremor, it's rising to the beat of your heart, let the whole earth shake, to the ends of the world, your love we take. At the top of our lungs, we're shouting out and singing loud. At the top of our lungs, we're shouting out and singing loud. And our hearts are beating to the rhythm of your sound. We are the young movement rising, stomping our feet, feel this tremor, it's rising to the beat of your heart, let the whole earth shake, to the ends of the world, your love we take. We are the young movement rising, stomping our feet, feel this tremor, it's rising to the beat of your heart, let the whole earth shake, to the ends of the world, your love we take. We are the young movement rising, stomping our feet, feel this tremor, it's rising to the beat of your heart, let the whole earth shake, to the ends of the world, your love we take.
There's an expression in Spanish which says, en la mesa y en el juego se conoce al caballero. And what that literally says is that at the table and in the game, the gentleman is known. And of course we understand that in the Legion that is when we're playing sports that the truth really comes out of us, and we see that very present. I'm a person that loves to do sports, and I recognize that I need to do them in order to survive. If not, I just get stressed. There's a certain intensity in the amount of studies and the time that we dedicate to prayer, to work, of course, as I said already, to the studies that are one of the most important aspects at this moment of our formation. But we do have those opportunities to really rest, to have fun, to do sports, and to make that not only like escape or a moment to distract or to have fun, but really to integrate that as part of our formation, because we learn that all the things that are human are good and are positive to our growth. So sports and studies don't go against each other, and we can complement them and use both to help us grow as persons and as apostles. Also, other than sports, we have many other ways of growing in this aspect of recreation, of human formation. For example, music. Sometimes there are even concerts, and some of the fathers and brothers play for us. We also have different types of board games or activities that brothers really like and enjoy, and it helps them to share with the community and to enrich all of us that we are not so very good with music or with board games. There's a document in the church, I think it's Gaudium et Spes, that starts by saying that there's nothing that is truly human that is foreign to the apostle of Christ, because God became man, and everything that is human has a possibility to be beautiful and to be good and to be true. So we realize that even through these aspects of things that are fun or recreational or even sports, they are not something that is just aside, and we do them when we are not growing in our formation, but we can integrate them, and they really take part of our growth and our formation, and we can discover that beauty and that joy of the human life. I'm aware, even before I joined the Legion, that to do sports and to have all the equipment and the facilities, that requires a lot of money and investment. And I'm aware of all the facilities that we have here at Cheshire to really enjoy all these different sports, to have soccer fields, to have baseball equipment, to have a basketball gym where we can do even sports during winter. And with all this, if it's even difficult to put it in words, I do want to say thank you for all of you that make this possible, and that maybe we will never see you or never meet you, but we are surely praying for you at every game, every visit to the chapel, every moment of our studies. We're praying for you, and we're taking advantage of what you give for us. And let's say it again, thank you.
Well, we study all sorts of different things because God is in all sorts of things. As Pope Benedict said, we shouldn't be afraid of truth because God is truth. So if we look at science and we study science, we're just going to be studying the way that God works, the ways that God works. And by doing that, we're going to draw closer to Him, get to know ourselves better, and get to know the world better. And same with math, same with, even, reading, obviously literature is not always, spiritual, it's not always Catholic or Christian. But for all these different things, we're able to delve into the world, which is a world that God created, and humanity, which is a humanity that God created, and kind of seeing, going deeper into the truth of all of those different things helps us to go into the truth of who we are and who we're created to be. Coming here to Cheshire has been an amazing experience. Spiritually, I've grown a lot, and as well in the humanities, I've had amazing experiences of growing intellectually and becoming better equipped to deal with myself, but as well to deal with the world of today and all of the problems and also all of the good things. So it's really an amazing experience that I look forward to continuing and becoming a better man, a more well-formed man who can someday, as a priest, really give the world what they need, which is Christ.
I love how that video helps us show how varied life in Cheshire is. Each year, a new community comes together, and I'm always amazed at how so many young men from numerous cultures can come and build communion, united around Christ.
It truly is a life that makes a difference. We want to thank you so much We are so glad to be accompanied on this journey of hope by so many great people. Thanks so much for your support over the years and your continued support. Now we want to invite Val Sprague, a dear friend of Cheshire, who has a special message for all of us.
Thank you for joining us at our virtual Gala to Hope for the seminary in Cheshire, Connecticut. My name is Val Sprague, and I'm really honored to be with you this evening. My husband Jeff and I have loved Cheshire and our beloved brothers for many years. We're married in Christie, about 10 years now. I feel very honored and humbled to provide a couple of thoughts to you this evening and also provide you with another invitation. Thank you for accepting the invitation to be with us virtually. I would really love to be with you at Cheshire, Connecticut, because I love to be with the brothers. But we live in a crazy and challenging world right now, and so due to our limitations with COVID, we have this beautiful opportunity to have virtual fellowship and to pray together and to do something very special for our seminarians. We had a lot of things that we had to adjust to in the last couple of years. Well, isolation, masks, the illness of some people, the recuperation, many new challenges. But the one thing that we know that stayed very constant, that I'm so grateful for, is our hope in Christ. Is the fact that through COVID and through all these challenging times, our brothers have been continuing with their formation. And that's the thing that I think that makes this gala very special. What our world needs right now is to continue to believe in the hope of Christ and the need that we have for holy priests. Our brothers at Cheshire, Connecticut begin the journey of hope on a 13-year formation pathway. And in order to sustain them, protect them, take care of them, feed them, clothe them, and give them a great education and formation, they need us. They need our support. We need to be the benefactors. We know that the Lord is the master builder. The Lord does not need us to be a master builder. We're the workers. And a lot of times being a worker doesn't mean loading our backpacks with bricks. What it means is writing a check. What it means is being generous from the heart. What it means is remembering that there's certain ways that we help the Lord in building his kingdom and our particular call. One life makes a tremendous difference on this journey. And when you think about the gift the Holy Spirit has given us in having dozens and dozens of vocations at Cheshire, Connecticut, we need to embrace that as a great gift for the future of our church. Because when I look at these brothers, and I love every single one of them, and that's the mother in me, but some mother gave us her son. We have these brothers that are the future of the church. They are going to give us our sacraments. They are going to baptize our grandchildren. They are going to help local pastors with masses and homilies. They will accompany us. One of my favorite pieces of scripture is Jeremiah 29:11, where the Lord promises us always that he has a great plan for us. And I trust that plan. And he has a plan for each one of these seminarians and a plan for each one of you. And I have to ask, what would have happened if each one of us had not said yes to our vocation? What if my yes to marriage had been a no? What if my yes to motherhood had been a no? What might have happened there with this beautiful plan? What might have happened in the future? If one of these young men had not said yes, what might have happened in the future and all the lives that could have been touched? But see, that's what's special here. All of these young men said yes to God. They said yes to Christ and the plan that he has for them. So I ask you tonight, please open your hearts even wider. And yes, if I could be so blunt, I'm asking you to open your checkbooks. I am asking you to give. Give maybe more than you thought you were going to give. Maybe pray about giving more than you did last year. And if you're a new benefactor and joining us for the first time, I ask you to join us in this mission, in these wonderful brothers, in helping them, loving them, taking care of them, joining us so that our hope is evident in the church. May God bless you for your goodness and your generosity. I hope you're having a beautiful evening, and thank you for everything that we will do together in the future to have hope in our church.
Good evening. My name is Father Sean Aaron from Modesto, California. As Territorial Director of North America, I have the privilege of visiting each of the legionary communities within the North American territory, from Los Angeles to Philadelphia, from Louisiana to the Philippines. And I get to witness firsthand how the legionary priests and brothers sacrificially serve you and your loved ones from day to day. Now, I desire more priests, and I know you desire more priests. And I know that the legionary priests are going to come from our novitiate and our College of Humanities in Cheshire, Connecticut. In fact, every time I visit Cheshire, for me, it's an experience of joy to witness the joy and the enthusiasm of the brothers as they prepare themselves to be priests that are dedicated to extending the kingdom of Christ and of evangelizing culture. This evening, I'd first of all like to thank you for the many ways that you have supported the legionaries and the brothers in formation. And I'd also like to invite you to make a special contribution to these same brothers in Cheshire who are preparing themselves on the long path to prepare themselves to be holy and effective priests in the evangelization of culture and the extension of the kingdom of Christ. Please help them on this journey of joy, this journey of hope, to become the priests that they desire to be, and to help them extend the kingdom of Christ and to evangelize the culture that so desperately needs the message of Christ. Good night, and God bless.
Nah.